basically, and the reason I brought this up is because people with only children, especially with daughters or having one daughter, those daughters tend to end up jacked up. I did a show talk about our modern mothers destroying their daughters, and they are, because most daughters look at their mothers and like, well, damn, she doesn't talk about relationships like they're positive. It's all fear-based. She doesn't teach me anything, hasn't taught me anything. See, we're used to faulting fathers. And women who are not happy with their dating lives tend to not make it look appealing to their daughters. So their daughters tend to end up like, well, damn. It's not like you talk about men in a good or glamorizing way or anything. It's like, well, men are something to be avoided. Well, whether you do it, whether you say it or not, you don't have good things to say about men in relationships. So if women, okay, if your daughter saw you with the men or talking about how great men are to have around, why men are so valuable and so important, and what you should do to make a man happy because men are so special, her outlook on manhood and relationships will be very different than get your degree, go to school, get your CNA, get out here. And like I said, relationships are not a priority. So basically you're teaching your daughter to grow up and be you. They make their daughters carbon copies of them, and they give their daughters fear, scarcity, and lack. Their success, your daughter's success, is not in a man. It's in a job and an education.
You can see Kevin is essentially making a very solid point. Her daughter is going to look to her as an example of how to be a woman to a man, based on how she saw her mother model womanhood in her household to whatever man was present. So what the daughter has seen modeled is a single mother who's probably in pursuit of career and things of that nature. And it seems like she's trying to instill that same drive into her daughter. But in so doing, you are essentially missing out on the opportunity to show your daughter how to love a man, how to care for a man, how to show up for a man, how to support a man, how to be a helpmate to a man. So the point he's making here is it's not as simple as telling your daughter, be as independent as you can be. I think the point he's making is he's saying there's so much more to teaching your daughter that starts with you, that it's not as easy as just telling her what to do, because if she didn't see you apply whatever advice you're telling her to apply, then really that lesson will never hit home. You have told your daughter a bunch of stuff that you ain't living, and she's seen mama live a life off the grid. Mm-hmm. Exactly. And the bottom line is, this is important because if we don't start having more women recognize what they're doing to their daughters are going to end up living their lives. Your daughter is on the path to becoming an independent woman. No man, 80% of our children are born out of wedlock because we have mothers who don't prioritize relationships with their daughters. They prioritize making sure that their daughters have jobs and careers and degrees and debt and everything else. Because you don't even have it in your life, because the main thing that's running through your head is fear and this and that. And I'm like, this is a cycle.
I know.
And it has to stop with you ladies. Your generation of women has to get real about your lives, where it is, and what you've done to the younger women, because you're the women they're looking at.